Hi YouTube, I'm back with another fun video and in my religion and ethics series, and this time I'm going to talk about drugs, both legal and illegal. And before I get started, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. Any kids that might be watching, if you're underage, if you're in school, don't do drugs. Just don't do it. It's not a good idea. Stay in school. I know it's cliche and whatever, but stay in school. It's important if you want to go to college, if you want to get a good job later. If you get into drugs, it can affect that in a negative way. So just, especially if you formed an addiction, so just stay away from drugs. It's not a good idea. It's not worth it most of the time to do drugs. So just keep that in mind. And so I want to put that out there. Young impressionable kids that might get the wrong idea, and also for parents that might be freaking out like I'm advocating drug use or whatever. So I wanted to talk about the different kinds of drugs, both legal and illegal, and I'll start out with cigarettes. Now, cigarettes can be very harmful for your health. Excessive, prolonged use of cigarettes can lead to lung cancer. A lot of times, in Hollywood movies they depict it as being cool and whatever, and while it can have some benefits, so to speak, the negative outweighs the positive, I think. I'm not going to be too preachy and say, oh, if you're a cigarette smoker, you're bad, you're evil, you're stupid, whatever, or you don't love Jesus. I'm not going to say anything like that. I'm not going to get preachy. It's not even a religious, or morality issue. It's, you want to protect your health. So, if you are smoking cigarettes, try and find ways to stop. Or at the very least cut back, because chain smoking is very dangerous to your health, and it affects so many aspects of your health. Not only can it lead to lung or throat cancer, possibly. I'm not saying it's, a guaranteed thing. You may smoke all your life and nothing happens. But it can lead to lung or throat cancer and can be very dangerous. It can affect your voice. Long-term smokers tend to have a more gruff voice about them. And women who smoke, you talk to a 50-year-old, 56-year-old woman that's been smoking and chain smoking all her life, she's going to have a very different sounding voice than someone who doesn't or never did. Obviously, usually her voice is going to be more raspy, deeper, more manly sounding. And there's so many other things. Your skin, it can affect your skin. I'm not really sure the reasons for that, but if you look at smokers, they tend to have drier, more wrinkly skin. It's very bad for your skin. I don't know the scientific reasons for that. I just know this to be true from experience, from seeing smokers versus non-smokers. A lot of times their voice, their skin, it's just different. In addition to that, one of the so-called benefits of smoking is that it helps you lose weight or keep your weight down. But unfortunately, that's also one of the negative effects of cigarette smoking. People that smoke cigarettes, their appetites are affected to the point where they can be like underweight or even borderline anorexic. So that's a negative aspect of smoking. So I don't want to get too much into just plain old smoking, but be smart, be safe, think of your health, and if you can stop smoking, it's probably preferable. So it's a health issue. It's not a morality issue. I think people try and make it a morality issue. Oh, if you're smoking, you must be a bad person. You must be a wild or a rebel or whatever. And it's not anything like that. I think people do it because it looks cool, it calms their nerves, helps them get through a long day at work, stuff like that. But there's so many health risks with that. associated with that. And also, one thing that really pisses me off is when women are pregnant and smoking. A lot of them are, chronic chain smokers or whatever, and so they have a hard time quitting when they're pregnant. But that really pisses me off. Like, I just want to go up and like slap the bitch, for smoking when she has a little baby. That pisses me off. And I realize, if someone has a smoking addiction, then it's going to be hard for them to quit, pregnant or not. But you have to do what's healthy for you, and then if you're pregnant, what's healthy for your baby. So that being said, just try not to get addicted to smoking, especially extremely addictive, chain smoking, where you're going through a whole 2-3 packs a day or whatever, a whole box or carton in a short period of time. That's not healthy. I've seen people that just, while they're drinking their coffee, while they're having a beer, while they're, at work, they're going out constantly for smoke breaks, and it's just not a good thing. And I can say this from experience too, because I took up smoking for a little while, and I quit. I did it more so to get through. I was working nights at the time. Excuse me. I was working nights, and so it kind of helped me get through the long night, because you get so tired and sleepy and you're working nights. And I'm a night owl anyway, but even so, after you're working a long shift, towards the end of your shift, you just get so tired, and you just like need a pick-me-up. And sometimes an energy drink would do that. Sometimes I felt like, I'd see my coworkers go out and have a smoke, and I was just like, I need something. I need something to help me get through working nights. And so I took up smoking for a little while, but then I quit later, because I didn't want to become addicted. I didn't want to become a chain smoker. So I had to force myself to stop. I didn't take any, kind of special nicotine pills or gum or, patches or anything like that. I just quit cold turkey. Well, pretty much cold turkey. I kind of cut down and then I quit completely one day. So that's my story with that. Alcohol can be tons of fun, but it can also be very dangerous. Make sure you're of age if you're going to drink, and if you're going to drink socially and drink responsibly. Those are my 2 things. Don't drink to the point of puking. I did that once. I puked and then I drank some more, and that was just, I don't know what was wrong with me. Yeah, it was a fun party, but there was a lot of good stuff to drink, but yeah, don't do that. So don't puke to the point of, don't drink to the point of puking, or passing out. That is very unhealthy and very dangerous even. Don't drink and drive, obviously. Number 1 rule, actually, I should put that as number 1. Don't drink and drive. Very dangerous. I had an acquaintance, well, she wasn't so much an acquaintance of mine, but an acquaintance of my sister's. I think she was somewhat a close friend, well, not a really close friend, but a friend of my sister's, and she ended up dying because of a drunk driver. And her and another friend died, and then another friend was injured. I think it was her boyfriend was injured, and he had to go on with a wife, and he didn't have his girlfriend anymore. They were not drinking and driving. They were just simply, their car broke down on the side of the road, and they were sideswiped by a drunk driver. I think it was 3 or 4 people, and 2 or 3 out of the 4 people were killed. Anyway, I think there was maybe 1 or 2 survivors. I think there was 4 people, 2 of them died, and then 2 of them survived, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, so this guy, his friends and his girlfriend got killed, and he was just so depressed afterwards. I would see him around, and he just looked so sad, and I felt bad for him. I didn't know the guy, but my sister was friends with him and with his girlfriend and so forth. So it just, it's really sad. So don't drink and drive. Have a plan. Have a backup. Have a DD, a designated driver. Do not go out and drink if you're not going to have a plan. And if you're the DD, stay the DD. Don't sway from that. If you are going to drink at all and you're the DD, keep it to one drink. A light drink. But preferably don't drink at all, especially if you're going to drive. Just don't do it. It's too risky. Not only could you get pulled over, but you never know what kind of dangerous situation could happen, what sort of accident you could get into from that. So, or even cause an accident, cause other people on the road to get killed, whether it's the people in the car or that you're driving with, or some unsuspecting person that's just driving home from work or whatever. You never know. So just don't do it. Don't get drunk to the point of passing out, where you don't know where you're at or who you're with. That's very dangerous. You never know what sort of situation you could get in. You could get mugged, raped. You never know. If you're going to go out drinking, go with somebody else, preferably even with a group. But if you're going to be with a group, make sure those people are your buddies, that they have your back. They're not just going to leave you there at the bar, whatever. So, those are my suggestions. In addition, be careful with mixing drinks with other things that might not be safe. I think there's something about mixing alcohol with like a Red Bull or whatever, and it's not supposed to be safe. So just be very careful with that as well. If you are going to accept a drink from someone, be very careful, because if you've heard of date rape drugs, it happens. You might think that it'll never happen to you, but just be careful. Guys or girls, you never know. You might be in a gay bar, you might be, you never know. Or, a girl could take advantage of a guy. You just be careful. Basically, alcohol can be fun. It can be a mood booster. It can, or just help you chill out after a long day or whatever. But just drink socially, drink small, and drink socially, drink responsibly. Have a plan. That's all I'm going to say about that. So I'm going to move on to illegal drugs. So I think that most drugs are bad. However, there are some things that are considered drugs that I wouldn't necessarily consider a drug per se, or things that they should be illegal that are considered drugs and that are illegal. That would be marijuana. Hemp is outlawed. It's not even a drug. Like, you can't smoke it. You can't smoke hemp. It's used for clothes and jewelry and shit, But because it's closely related to marijuana, they're like, oh, well, we can't distinguish it from marijuana, Whatever. If you know plants, then you're going to be able to tell the difference, which you should if you're regulating that. If you're regulating, plants that can be used as drugs, you should know what they look like. You should be able to distinguish. So it's ridiculous to say. And even the fact that marijuana is illegal, I don't agree with, because I think compared to a lot of the legal pharmaceuticals out there, a lot of the things that are legally prescribed, which I think can be far more dangerous, I think marijuana has medical benefits. I am all for legalizing medical marijuana. I think that for returning vets from wars, I think it's far safer and far more effective for returning vets with PTSD, or anybody who has a medical need for that sort of thing. I think a lot of the prescription drugs that are available for depression and anxiety and stuff like that are far more dangerous. To give you a little bit of backstory, I've been prescribed before in the past when I was having some depression issues or anxiety issues. Was prescribed a pharmaceutical legal pharmaceutical drug, and I didn't take it for very long because I could already begin to see some negative effects of it, and it freaked me out. It didn't feel right, so I stopped taking it, and I started looking into different things, and I think a lot of the illegal pharmaceuticals out there are far more dangerous than things, say, like marijuana, which I think is natural, it's organic. I don't recommend it for underage children, so let me just put that disclaimer out there again. I don't recommend it for anybody that it's not indicated for, or that it shouldn't be for. I'm going to make another video because this one's getting long, but I'll delve more into this issue. Thank you for listening.